Rosalie. I hated Rosalie. She was so bitchy. I never had any problem with her. She was like kind of there in the background, but I didn't have any dislike for her or anything. I actually felt really sorry for her. But her actions were just horrible. The fact that she only wanted to protect the baby and not Bella. I mean, I get why Bella went to her. I would have done the same to protect my child. But it was horrible. It was horrible watching that. But I guess that is how she feels when it comes to a child, and that's a good thing, because that little baby is going to have that aunt that will protect her to the ends of the freaking earth. So, yeah, didn't like Rosalie at all. The scene where Edward starts listening to the baby's mind and finally realizes that that is his child in there and not a monster made me cry. My dream has always been for Bella and Edward to have babies, and I was kind of giving it up because I was pretty sure it would never happen. And I'm so thankful it did, because we get to see a completely new side of Edward, and him as a dad is adorable. And that moment when he started saying that the baby loved Bella, the tears started coming out. And then the scene that he gives Jacob his keys to get away from everything that is hurting him, I was so glad that Edward did that, and it was so good to see Jacob away and trying to look for his perfect girl and not finding her. It was a really heartbreaking chapter moment. It was sad. I cried a lot. The birth scene was horrible. Seeing Bella throughout the pregnancy was horrible because she was so broken and not strong and weak, and it was really depressing, but it was encouraging that she hanged in there for her baby. But the birthing scene was really violent and really gory. It made me slightly nauseous. My heart was in my throat all the time. It was creepy. It was really, really creepy. And just Edward finally getting that moment to turn Bella into a vampire. It was very beautiful, yet very creepy and very scary. Then there's Jacob, and he's hearing Bella die as she gives birth to her child, and he comes downstairs, and Rosalie's holding the baby, and he says to himself, God, I have to kill this kid. He killed Bella, or she killed Bella. I have to get rid of this thing. And just as he's getting ready to pounce, bam. What none of us were expecting in a million years. At least I didn't expect it at all. Edward looks at that adorable little girl, and he completely imprints. That was a reenactment of my reaction. Yeah. The imprinting moment was one of my favorites of the whole thing. It was very beautifully written, and I loved it, and it was my favorite moment of book 2, that's for sure. And I also adored Jacob's blonde jokes towards Rosalie, and the bowl thing, priceless. Thumbs up to you, Jacob boy. I think I'm in Switzerland now. Jesus Christ. Then we have Bella going through her transformation in book 3. Back to book 3, it's from her point of view. And those were some of the most beautifully written pages from the whole book. I loved how she thought about her daughter and how she compared her to the warmth she was feeling, and it slowly started burning her and turning into pain, and she tightened herself up and tried to not make sounds or movements so she wouldn't freak Edward out about her being in pain. It was touching, and it was very beautiful and very well done. I always imagined what her change would be like, and this was better than anything I had imagined previously. Then there's Bella waking up, and she doesn't even think about thirst at first. All she does is embrace Edward and kiss him, and Emmett has to clear his throat, and it was such a perfect moment. It was completely Edward Bella. It was what they're meant to be. It was beautiful, and it made me cry. And then the hunting scene afterwards was priceless. It was great. Bella gets her dress ripped. She desires Edward more than ever before. They make out. It was so good. Then the next part is Bella seeing her baby for, the first time since birth. The first time she really gets to know her. And I'm going to start calling her by her name now. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I hope I am. Renesmee? Yeah, I'll talk about that more at the end. So she goes to see her for the first time, and everyone's really worried that she will attack her. Bella's really in control of her urges, which is great, and I was really expecting that from her, so that was very good to see. And she holds Renesmee in her arms, and it's a very touching moment, and Renesmee grows more and more every day. She has that defining thing, and when she touches your face, she can share her memories and thoughts with you, which I think is beautiful. But most of all, I think Renesmee's power is that she unconditionally loves. She's very innocent, and she doesn't judge anyone, and I think that's why everyone is so taken of her and will do anything for her. And that's when Bella notices that Jacob isn't looking at Renesmee as he should. And she realizes, oh crap, he hasn't printed on my baby. And she goes crazy. She goes nuts. She wants to rip his head off, and I totally understand. Edward's hanging back laughing because he totally wants to rip his head off as well. Ironically, he's in love with his daughter now. Not only did he have to go through him being in love with his wife, he has to see him fall in love with his daughter. He's very much a protective dad. Bella wants to rip his head off. Beth gets injured while trying to stop her. Jacob starts calling Renesmee Nessie, and one of the best lines ever. I've never laughed so loud in my life. Did you just nickname my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? That is for the win. That is priceless, Bella's one. Priceless. Did I say that I adore Nessie? I see her in my mind with those pretty auburn curls and big brown eyes, and my heart melts. I don't care if she's half mutant, half vampire, half human, mutant baby. I think she's beautiful, and I think she has a very pure heart, and I love her. Then Esme gives Edward, Bella, and Renesmee, I'm going to call her Nessie from now on, and Nessie this little cottage in the woods, which I think is so romantic and so needed, because Edward and Bella needed to get away from their family to be with their daughter and have a little alone time, because they go at it like rabbits. I swear. And if Emmett were there, hearing all that, he would make more lewd jokes than he actually did do in the book. I love Emmett. And that arm wrestling match, completely priceless and great.